You could stand. This is the Village Board of Trustees of Village of Depew, October 24th, 2022, starting a little late, 7:09. I apologize for that. This is meeting number 15. We have the pledge by Trustee Kasavich, please.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can remain standing. As we gather here today, we pray that we are ever mindful of the opportunities to render our service to fellow citizens and to our community. Let us continue to strive to make the better world. We are thankful for this day that you have given us, for its blessing, its opportunities, and its challenges. May we appreciate and use each day that comes to us. We pray for strength and guidance for each day as it comes, for each day's duties, for each day's problems. May we be challenged to give us our best always, and may we be assured of your presence with us. Amen. That was a new one. Notification of fire exits, that'd be Trustee Ziemba.
The emergency exits are located to my left and to the rear of the room. In the event of an alarm or emergency, please move in an orderly fashion to the exits and evacuate the building.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Adolph.
Here.
Trustee Ziemba.
Here.
Trustee Kasevich.
here.
Deputy Mayor Hammernick. Mayor Peterson.
And here. First item is approve the village board meeting minutes from October 11th, 2022.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption to approve the village board meeting minutes for October 11th, 2022.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next up is accept the village zoning board meeting minutes, October 13th, 2022.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption to accept the zoning board meeting minutes for October 13th, 2022. Item 1, Phil Convertini of Moeller Sign and Crane, Inc. for the property located at 5990 Transit Road of Chapter 260-37, parentheses E, parentheses 3, whole sign, to allow him to erect a sign within the 10-foot required setback from the street right-of-way. Granted.
Second motion.
Need a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Adolph.
Yes.
Trustee Ziemba.
Yes.
Trustee Kasevich.
Yes.
Mayor Peterson.
Yes.
That's carried.
Item 2, Sarah Ann Riddell for the property located at 107 Princeton Avenue of Chapter 260-14, parentheses B, parentheses 1, parentheses H, to allow them to construct a driveway within the required minimum setback of 3 feet to any interior, rear, or exterior property line, and such driveway does not project greater than 5 feet directly in front of the principal dwelling. Granted.
I second motion.
Need a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Adolph.
Yes.
Trustee Ziemba.
Yes.
Trustee Kasevich.
Yes.
Mayor Peterson.
Yes.
That's carried.
Item 3, Nicholas Hirsch for the property located at 3510 Walden Avenue of Chapter 260-26, parentheses A, parentheses 2, to allow them to construct a shed addition within the required side yard 50 feet and rear yard 25 feet setbacks. Granted.
I second motion.
Roll call vote, please?
Trustee Adolph.
Yes.
Trustee Ziemba.
Yes.
Trustee Kasevich.
Yes.
Mayor Peterson.
Yes.
That's carried.
Okay, we're going to run through the resolutions for tonight that are on the agenda. You'll be able to ask any questions or comment on any of the agenda items only until we get to the public concerns and comments for items that are not on the agenda. Then you can ask any question that you like. And when you do, just come to the podium, state your name and your address, and we'll do our best to answer your questions. First up tonight, resolution number 1 is to approve the cancellation of the meeting that's scheduled for December 26, 2022, due to the holiday. Number 2 is change the payroll dates. Due to the holiday of Thanksgiving holiday, our payroll date will be Wednesday, the 23rd, instead of Thursday, the 24th. Resolution number 3, permission for various fire department company holiday parties. Engine 4 is on December 10th. There's one for Engine 1 to use the Northside Fire Station on December 3rd. And then permission for use of the Northside Fire Hall for the kids' Christmas party on December 2nd. Resolution number 4, permission for the fire department to participate in the annual Christmasville Parade. It's talking about using some of our engines as standby at various locations in the parade route. Resolution number 5, permission to advertise for a public hearing to change local law number 3 for senior and disability tax exemptions. This is to raise the amount of the exemption on the tax in both the town of Cheektowaga and the town of Lancaster side of the village. And that public hearing is November 14th, 2022, which will take place during the board meeting that night. Resolution number 5, approve the non-union longevity payments. These are for non-union employees here in the village. There's 5 of them listed. And that'll be in this next paycheck. Resolution number 6. Resolution number 7, permission to sign the community development block grant agreements. These are for sidewalk replacement in front of the senior and the senior center expenses. That's on the, from the town of Cheektowaga. And on the Lancaster side, it's various sidewalks that we'll be doing. Resolution number 8, permission to sign the Morano Drive Culvert Project Agreement. Resolution number 9, permission to sign an agreement with Depew Community Action Team. That's for joint use of the parking lot that's out front here between Village Hall and the upcoming community center. Permission to sign an escrow agreement. Sam, this one is yours, right?
Sure, so this escrow agreement is for the solar panel project on Broadway. This is the first solar panel project that the Village of Depew has ever done, and we've done our best to project what our code enforcement and engineering costs are going to be. And this escrow agreement allows us to keep double that amount in escrow as a kind of umbrella, just in case these costs are more than expected. So this was a condition of issuing the building permit for that project. Now, the building permit's separate, that's with code, or soon to be with code, we figured out. And that's what that's about.
And that's all of them. So if there's any comments or questions on any of those agenda items, you're welcome to come up, Dave, and just state your name and ask your question of which one of those.
Dave Burkhart, 5 Autumn Lee. This escrow agreement, can we go over that one more time? We're putting solar panels on the buildings?
No, this is that big site on Broadway we've been talking about for 2 years.
Strawberry Field.
The old landfill
The old
on Broadway
landfill.
between
Oh.
Twin Village Recycling.
We're gonna make that like a solar panel farm?
So that vacant land was sold to a company that installs solar panels about 2 years ago. and they are in the final stages of getting approval to put their solar panels there. And this is just security for the building permit. So we know our engineer is going to have to examine numerous solar panels, and we want his costs to be covered. We're not going to lose money so they can build their project.
Right.
And we have double the amount we project to spend being held kind of in a separate, segregated bank account, just in case our costs go over what we expect.
And so they haven't made any agreement to supply part of Depew, the power or anything like that?
No, that would be a separate off-taker agreement, and I can tell you through negotiations, the value just wasn't there for an off-taker agreement, at least at the time we started, but it could be in the future, so.
Just because I know they have to face south and west, these panels, is there any kind of a, when the sun's in a certain position, kind of when the cars are going east on Broadway, any kind of reflection that might hinder driving at all? Somebody told me that it happens at other solar farms.
I would hope not, but, you know, at least when I've driven by the one at UB, I know I haven't had any problems with.
Yeah, no, I've seen that one.
But, you know, we would, these guys have done this before. They're professionals. We think they're going to do everything right. And certainly if there's a problem, we'll address it. You know, another nice thing we built into the escrow agreement, which they've agreed to do, is provide our fire departments with training on how to put out solar panels, fires and electrical fires like that, and give them a tour of the facility and full access. So we're very happy they're willing to add that as a cost for this particular building permit.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Anyone else? An item that's on the agenda? Okay. Item number 1. Approve the cancellation of meeting during Christmas vacation time.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following resolution, move for its adoption. Be it resolved, the Village Board meeting scheduled for Monday, December 26, 2022, is hereby canceled due to the Christmas holiday.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 2, change of payroll dates.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. Be it resolved, due to the Thanksgiving holiday, our payroll pay date will be Wednesday, November 23rd, 2022, instead of Thursday, November 24th, 2022.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 3, permission for various Depew Fire Department parties.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. Permission is hereby granted to the Depew Fire Department, Engine Number 4, to use the North Side Fire Station for their Christmas party on Saturday, December 10th, 2022, from 3 p.m. till 12 a.m. And permission is hereby granted to the Depew Fire Department, Engine Number 1, to use the North Side Fire Station for their Christmas party on Saturday, December 3rd, 2022, from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. And permission is hereby granted to the Depew Fire Department to use the North Side Fire Hall on Saturday, December 2nd, 2022, from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. for their kids' Christmas party.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution 4, permission for the fire department to participate in the parade.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following resolution, move for its adoption. Permission is hereby granted to the Depew Fire Department for Engine Number 6 to stand by for the Bowmansville Fire at Columbia and Central Avenue from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Saturday, November 26, 2022, for the annual Christmasville Parade. And permission is hereby granted to the Depew Fire Department for Engine 3 to stand by at Laverack and Central Avenue, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Saturday, November 26, 2022, for the annual Christmasville Parade, but will be responding to calls in the village of Depew. And permission is hereby granted to the Depew Fire Department for Engine Number 1, Ladder Number 5, and Engine 41, Antique, to participate in the annual Christmasville Parade from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Saturday, November 26, 2022. The apparatus will be out of service.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Permission to advertise for a public hearing on local law number 3, senior and disability tax exemptions.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. Be it resolved, the village administrator is hereby authorized to advertise for a public hearing to discuss the enacting of local law for senior and disabled tax exemptions for the Village of Depew, Town of Lancaster, and Village of Depew, Town of Cheektowaga. The public hearing will take place at 85 Manitow Street, Depew, New York 14043, in the council chambers on November 14th, 2022.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that also is carried. Resolution 6, approve the non-union longevity payments.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. Whereas, the employee handbook requires longevity payments to non-union personnel to be approved by the village board. Be it resolved, longevity payments as per the current budget for the 2022-2023 be approved for the following. Melissa Dabb, $950. Bill Kerr, $1,525. Tim Norick, $1,450. Jerry Miller, $1,525. And Ken Pick, $2,009.15. These payments will be paid to the employees the first payroll after this resolution is passed.
I second the motion.
A roll call vote, please.
Trustee Adolf?
Yes.
Trustee Ziemba?
Yes.
Trustee Gisevich?
Yes.
Mayor Peterson?
Yes.
That's carried.
Resolution number 7, authorize the mayor to sign community development block grant subrecipient agreements 2023.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following resolution and move for its adoption. Be it resolved that Mayor Kevin Peterson is authorized to sign, submit, and execute a contract with the Community Development Block Grant for the following project, parentheses S, upon approval of the ECCD BG-project ranked sidewalk replacement for the senior center expenses in the Village of Depew, Town of Cheektowaga, Town of Lancaster sides.
I second the motion.
Need a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Adolf?
Yes.
Trustee Ziemba?
Yes.
Trustee Gisevich?
Yes.
Mayor Peterson?
Yes.
That's carried.
Resolution 8, permission to sign the Morano Drive culvert agreement.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. Whereas a project at Morano Drive over tributary to Skajackwada Creek BNY Culvert Project 576391, the project, is eligible for reimbursement of qualified costs from Bridge New York funding that calls for the post-reimbursement apportionment of the qualified cost to be borne at the ratio of 100% Bridge New York funds and 0% non-Bridge New York funds. And whereas the Village of Depew will design, let, and administer all phases of the project, whereas the Village of Depew desires to advance the project by making a commitment of 100% of the cost of the design and construction work for the projects or portions thereof, now therefore be it resolved, the Village Board duly conveyed does hereby be it further resolved that the Village Board approves the project. Be it further resolved that the Village Board hereby authorizes the Village of Depew to pay 100% of the cost of design and construction work for the project or portions thereof, with the understanding that qualified costs will be reimbursed from Project New York funding. Be it further resolved that the sum of $652,790 is hereby appropriated from the fund balance and made available to cover the cost of participation in the above phase of the project. Be it further resolved that the Village Board hereby agrees that the Village of Depew shall be responsible for all costs of the project, including costs which exceed the amount of the reimbursement available from the Bridge New York funding awarded to the Village of Depew. Be it further resolved that in the event that the cost of the project exceed the amount appropriated above, the Village of Depew shall convey as soon as possible to appropriate said excess amount immediately upon the notification of the village engineer thereof. Be it further resolved that the village board hereby agrees that the Village of Depew hereby commits that construction of the project shall begin no later than 24 months after the award, and construction phase of the project shall be completed within 30 months. Be it further resolved that the mayor of the village board of the Village of Depew be and is hereby authorized to execute all necessary agreements, certifications, or reimbursement requests with New York State DOT for state aid and/or Bridge New York funding on behalf of the Village of Depew in connection with the advancement or approval of the project and providing for the administration of the project and the municipality's funding of the project costs. Be it further resolved that the Village of Depew will be responsible for all maintenance of the project. Be it further resolved that the certified copy of this resolution be filed with the New York State Commissioner of Transportation by attaching it to any necessary agreements in connection with the project. Be it further resolved, the resolution shall take effect immediately.
I second that motion.
A roll call vote, please.
Trustee Adolf?
Yes.
Trustee Ziemba?
Yes.
Trustee Gisavich?
Yes.
Mayor Peterson?
Yes.
That's carried.
Resolution 9, permission to sign Depew Community Action Team Agreement.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. Be it resolved, Mayor Kevin Peterson is authorized to sign the agreement with DCAT, Depew Community Action Team, for the use by the village of the parking area owned by DCAT at the former Don Polsky Center on Manitou Street, Boarding Gould Avenue.
I second the motion.
Get a roll call vote, please.
Trustee Adolf?
Yes.
Trustee Ziemba?
Yes.
Trustee Gisavich?
Yes.
Mayor Peterson?
Yes.
That's carried.
It's this one.
This is the Rebels.
Only at the table.
I can just say table like we normally do. Is there a motion to table?
Yeah.
That's what we normally do.
The next item, which was resolution number 10, was agreed in the pre-board that we're going to table that. So if you could,
Motion, table,
yes.
so moved.
Second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. That will be picked up at the next meeting. Resolution 11, permission to sign the escrow agreement.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. Be resolved, Mayor Kevin Peterson is authorized to sign the escrow agreement for the building permit for the upper part of the solar project.
I second the motion.
Get a roll call vote, please.
Trustee Adolf?
Yes.
Trustee Ziemba?
Yes.
Trustee Gisavich?
Yes.
Mayor Peterson?
Yes.
That's carried.
Okay. No department head reports here tonight. Employment applications were received for Rec. Kira Wajkowski, Mackenzie Delanove, Abby Fisher, Jake Fleck, Salvatore Delanove, Madison Massaro, and Benjamin Fleck. There's no unfinished and other business. And again, before we get to general public comments and concerns, we'll go around the room. First, our guest from Assembly Member Monica Wallace's office, Elizabeth Brinkworth.
Good evening, Mayor and Trustees. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you so much, as always, for having me. I appreciate the time. For those of you that are new, my name is Elizabeth Brinkworth. I'm Chief of Staff for New York State Assemblymember Monica Wallace. This past week, Assemblymember Wallace had given a special shout out to the New York State Troopers because they had their graduating class and we had a couple people from the district. So we welcome 218 new troopers within the ranks. So congratulations to those who graduated and thank you for serving the great state of New York. We wish you well and stay safe. Last week, Assemblymember Monica Wallace had joined New York State DEC Commissioner Basil Sagos in announcing a $7 million investment to expand Rhinestone Woods. This is something they've been asking for a very long time. They provide a lot of resources to the community and several school districts within Western New York. They have various programs on environmental initiatives, as well as just learning about animals, nature trails. We know the public around here uses them, so we're very excited that they get to have a 7,000 square foot expansion. This will also allow for better accessibility for those who are disabled, so everyone with all abilities can participate. We're currently working with the governor's office to get a couple bills that Assemblymember Wallace had championed this past session, two in particular. One that requires health clubs to have at least one automated external defibrillator on the premises, so that way staff, members, and guests can use them in case someone has a cardiac incident. The other establishes the Office of Hospice and Palliative Care. That's something we're excited to see just because a lot of people don't know about the resources that hospice palliative care agencies can provide, especially end-of-life treatment and just helping families at little to no cost. So unfortunately, while winter is quite not here yet, winter is coming, but thanks to a bill championed by Assemblymember Wallace and Senator Kennedy, now in New York State, municipal snowplows can have green flashing lights. Studies have shown this is more of a safety measure versus the golden amber lights that are seen on the vehicles. I, for one, have seen this in action in whiteout conditions, and it's quite amazing to see how far the light carries versus the amber light. So we're happy that, all the municipalities now, they don't have to, get special requirements for DOT. Everyone can unanimously go ahead and purchase those. I know Halloween is coming up next week, so everyone stay safe, have an enjoyable Halloween. Hopefully it's as beautiful as today was for all the trick-or-treaters in the 143rd District. And as always, if anyone has questions, comments, or concerns at the state level, give us a shout. Thank you.
Liz.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll start to my right. Don from Code. Hey,
Yeah, we've had a lot of different questions this week, oddball things, extensions for the CFC waivers, which we discussed, and, they could apply here, during the open forum if they need an extension on the waiver for the certificate of compliance.
two in question are coming to the next meeting. That's proposed, right?
Pardon?
The two in question will be coming to our next.
The next meeting, yes. Starting to wind down, construction is starting to wind down, but we've actually gotten a lot of large commercial expansions that they've just applied for, so we're still plugging along. We don't have really much more than that. As always, try to keep your properties clean. Winter's coming. And, get the last bit of cleanup, last grass cut and cleaned before the snow flies. And please, once the snow does fly, keep your sidewalks and your curbs and aprons cleaned up, and any fire hydrants that may be on your property. Other than that, that's all I have.
Car wash was coming.
Car wash, they reached out to get a preliminary start date for grading and drainage. So they sent over the plans electronically. I asked for it and forwarded it to our engineering department and see if we can't, engineering firm, see if we can't get them started.
Anything new on the Shamrock?
Unfortunately, I have not heard anything more on the Shamrock since I spoke to them last.
Okay. And letters, though, were gone out for the violations they currently have, correct?
The Shamrock?
Yeah. Like, we had rescinded them, or there was somebody that came in before, and then it was resold.
Well, the problem is it's changed hands again. Anytime you send out a violation letter and the property changes hands, the existing violation is null and void, you gotta start over. They inherited the problems, but you still have to recite them all over again. So,
So they did go through the process of buying the property, right?
as far as I know, it says sold on the sign. I've been in contact with the new owners and the listing agent and their lawyer, and put them in touch with the proper people to purchase the property next door, so they have adequate parking, because they want to turn it into a 5 to 6 unit apartment building. So, be nice if we can get something done there and finally get that thing, back in shape.
Okay. Go to Chief Miller, please.
Thank you. I don't have much today. Just a reminder, Halloween is next week. If you're driving, slow down, look for the little ones in the street. If you're out begging for treats, wear bright reflective costumes and stay out of the street. And don't eat the candy until it has been inspected at home by your parents. That's all I got.
On this side, DPW Superintendent Ken Peck.
Within the next week, we'll be starting our fall planting of trees that we have purchased, so that'll be taking effect. The concrete sidewalks should be completed this week with the grant money from the previous year. And we already have implemented the green amber lights like everybody else has. We've been ordering them with our the new equipment. When we have to purchase lights, we're purchasing the green amber, so it's a safety issue for everybody. So,
You have any guidelines for leaf pickup? So I've been driving through the village and,
yeah, we started today heavy. We had 3 trucks out, and just put them out. You don't need a call. We'll be going section by section.
it needs to be in the right of way,
It
right?
needs to be in the right of way. Please do not put them in the streets, so when it does rain, it doesn't clog the drain. But you don't need a call. We don't do it by appointment. We'll be going section by section, and we keep a map at our shop so we know what section's been completed.
Okay. Recreation Director,
This Wednesday, the pool will be closing. I have a company coming in to close it up. If you read the minutes, we had all our cashiers and our rink guards are hired, so we have plenty of those for the rink coming up for learn to skate and open skate. So, and then we just finished with soccer ended Sunday and lacrosse ends this Sunday. That's all I have.
Fire Chief John Gothier.
20 calls so far in the month of October, 271 year to date. Our high school will be having their annual bonfire this Tuesday. It was supposed to be last week, but due to weather was postponed. So we'll be lighting that at 7:30 tomorrow. So if you see smoke in the area of the high school, that's probably what it's going to be. Our Cuga Hose, thanks everybody for your support with their chicken barbecue this past weekend. And Halloween, yeah, our fire halls will be open once again for Halloween.
And didn't firefighter Broats receive?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, one of our firefighters, 61-year member, Bob Broats of our Cuga Hose Company, was inducted into the Erie County Wall of Honor this past Saturday. So congratulations to him.
Along with Ron Endel, right?
Yep.
Chief Endel.
Yeah.
All right. Sam from Lee.
So not too much from me. There was a lot of work the past couple of weeks getting these 2 solar items on the agenda, and I hope to see the lease agreement on next meeting's agenda. We are handling more and more of these extreme risk protection order cases. Elizabeth, I'd like to talk to you and Assemblywoman Wallace about what the legislature can do regarding this law, the mandates in it. I know the Attorney General's office is hiring a couple of people, but that's just for New York State police applications, and at least my municipalities read the law to say any local police needs to file these red flag law applications whenever there's a threat of violence. And that creates a lot of work for us, and it's unfunded work we're happy to do. We just want to make sure the legislature is aware. I mean, this could be a full-time job for a lawyer in bigger cities and a couple police officers. So it's keeping me pretty busy. That's about it.
Okay. Administrator Terry?
I
Update on
think
our
we're just waiting for our conference room table to ship. Excuse me, for our new conference room. The window for the room is scheduled to be in maybe the end of December, but we probably won't see it till early next year. And it's very, very cold out anyway at that time of year, so it's gonna take some time to put that in. And I think that's it.
Okay. Trustee Zimba?
Nothing this evening, Mayor, thanks.
Trustee Adolph?
Not just Halloween, but it is getting darker now this time of year, so please look out for not just kids during Halloween, but also runners and dog walkers as well. They're out there, so that's it.
Trustee Kasevich?
So I wanted to start with, I see a lot of familiar faces in the crowd, and it makes me sad because I have the same concerns that all of you have with the Airbnb. I want you to know this is not taken lightly, and that we did talk about it at the pre-board meeting, because on our end, we have to look into a law to establish so that we can regulate this. So I feel you, I know what you're going through, and I'm sorry.
Okay, we've gone all around. Now we open up to public concerns and comments. Just step to the podium, name, address, and ask your question. All right, you're number one.
Okay, Sharon Walensky, 58 Middlesex Road, right next door to the Airbnb. Very, very disruptive. This weekend was horrible. It was a whole weekend rental. I want to know why the police tolerated underage drinking. There were little girls there. They had to be 16 years old. The boys coming out of the house, they were not 21. Maybe they were 16, 17. I can't even tell you how many kids were there for the weekend. Maybe Jackie would know. She saw what was going on outside her window also. Constant traffic up and down the street till 4:30 in the morning. This is outside my bedroom window. There's another person here who lives on the other side. Garbage thrown around. I had a fight with one of the girls asking her to please pick up the litter. What litter? I said, that litter right there. It progressed into a shouting match.
No adult supervision?
No, none at all.
And
I called the owner Saturday morning and said to him, do you have any idea what is going on in your house, on your property? He didn't say a word. I'm going to sell it, is what he told me, and he hung up on me. He doesn't even drive by.
is he still in the area?
Yeah, he's still in the area. He's right on Airbnb, hosted by Lance in Depew. You can look it right up.
No, where does this guy live?
We do not know that. He never gave us the address. We have his phone number.
He used to be your neighbor, though.
He used to be our neighbor, and he sold out the whole street. Our street is not used to this commotion, disruption. I'm afraid, is it booked for this weekend? I don't know. Another 2-day party? It's going to be known as a cheap party house, word of mouth. This is not the first party. 2 weeks ago, there was another one. Then a couple of nice rentals in between. Months before that, more parties. Jackie can tell you, this is no lie. What more can I say? It's very upsetting to all these people here. They've seen it. Garbage thrown around the neighborhood. Somebody just told me that in that backyard, the fence was kicked in. I don't know if that gentleman is here. Is he here? Somebody's fence was kicked in.
Just this weekend?
Pardon?
And is that back up to somebody else's house? Chief, anything?
I just found out about it this afternoon, and we're looking into it now. But a lot of it has to do with the local laws regarding or governing Airbnbs, which we're in the midst of looking into at this point.
A couple of us already have put in complaints. I know of at least 4 complaints into Airbnb so far, and they're checking into it. He put in some stupid waterfall with slate back there, and when it rains or he uses it, it floods our backyard. We have water along his fence line 2 feet till it drains down. His
Now-
backyard is atrocious. There's garbage back there. There's all kinds of debris lined up. How is he renting this?
Ma'am, if you'd like, you could stop into my office tomorrow. We'll gladly take a complaint. I'll be happy to go out and take a look at it for you.
Oh, perfect. And another neighbor last week called the garbage police, whoever that is, because he would not take his garbage out for weeks at a time, be overflowing. Then when he finally took it out, he left his totes out there for 2 weeks. A neighbor wouldn't bring it back for him because of his, what do you want to call it?
I would just ask that every time something like this occurs, that you call us so we can document it. I will talk to the supervisors on the night shift to make sure they're aware and take a more proactive stance on this.
Last weekend was a joke. The police blocked off the end, I heard, of the street, and they're backing down the street. Screeching their tires. What, 2 o'clock in the morning? These parties they don't start till 11:30, 12 o'clock, and they last till 4, 4:30.
Okay.
You know, it's a big concern for all of us here.
It's a quality of life issue, and
It's
you
a
guys
quality of
you
life.
guys should be calling us every time it happens.
Well, thank you for, I'm sorry, but thank you for.
So will you stop by Don's office tomorrow?
Sure.
Yep.
Your office
That'll-
in here.
Yes, ma'am.
Right
As
behind
soon as
this
you go out
wall.
this door here, we're at the end of the hall here.
He has a doctor's appointment in the morning.
What is this?
We'll be happy to take it anytime. If we're not there, you could lodge it with the secretaries, and we'll go out promptly and take a look at it.
Yes, doing this.
Anyone in here, if it's anything to do with this property, especially if you could see it from your property, please come in, log the complaint. We'll set up a time for you to come out there. We'll take a look at it. Anything we can see that's in violation, we will take care of.
That includes that fence too, right?
Well,
I
any
have-
violation, when we go out there, we will
have it
take care of it.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? Sure.
Leonard Rosowitz, 28 Middlesex.
Leonard,
Rosowitz, Rosowicz. Otherwise, you'll butcher it. It's okay.
And you're gonna have to spell it again for me.
Yeah.
Rosowicz.
oh, that's easy.
Okay,
What was the address?
28 Middlesex.
28. Thank you.
thank you.
I mean, they talked briefly about what happened and what they were going through. Now, we live at 28, my wife and I. The cars were going down the street. We made multiple calls to the police. There was one point to where my wife and I got tired of the music outside our house where a car was parked. It was so loud that I screamed at the top of my lungs and they couldn't hear me. But Patty, the next door neighbor, heard me. And then, of course, she heard my wife. Words were crossed back and forth. Racial slurs were directed towards my wife, calling her Karen. I guess that's a new white term for white women, you know, however you want to put it. And then she was told directly to her face by these 4 girls to get back in the house or we're going to kick the shit out of you. And that was it. I was told by dispatch to return to my home, lock my door, and stay there. I had to retreat to my own home that I pay taxes on and hide while they took my streets away from me. I mean, it was an insult. I mean, the cops were overwhelmed. There had to be over 100 people there. It was crazy. The cars going around the streets were doing at least 60. I mean, there's children that live on the streets, there's elderly people, and they stayed locked in our houses. I mean, we were under siege this past weekend. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
All young kids.
All young kids.
These other instances, were they kids or older
No,
adults?
kids. All teenagers. They weren't in their 20s.
Not just this weekend, previous weekends.
Previous weekends, yeah,
Same thing?
younger kids. I mean, well, we don't smoke in our house. We go outside to have a cigarette. My wife has a bad back. She does not sleep well. My health is failing. I do the same thing. And there's nights we'll go out there that whoever they rent to, we're not going to get into anything else, but there's people that are underage or even younger walking down the street 3, 4 in the morning. The words that come out of their mouth are not pleasant. I mean, the whole thing is just uncomfortable. I mean, we were kept up in our own homes to where I couldn't sleep until they left at 4:30 in the morning. It was the craziest thing. I mean, it's not good for our health. It's not good for our property values. I mean, I understand for some reason the amount of people, they were overwhelmed, but something needs to be done. And I mean, if it's an Airbnb, he's being charged hotel tax when he pays his bill towards them for the service, so that would be commercial. Well, I thought we were a residential area. Then you have noise ordinances.
We absolutely have noise ordinances, which I'll be
I
circulating.
mean, 11 o'clock, I mean,
And-
what was going on in front of my house, I could hear in the back of my house with my doors and windows closed, no problem. The language, the radios, the exhaust systems, the speeding down the road. No, and the language that came out, I mean, in my time, we raised a little hell, but it was nothing like what they would do. At least we had respect.
In addition to the noise ordinances, we're looking at creating an Airbnb registry. We're going to pass a local law with respect to that to make sure something like this doesn't happen again. And if it does, the owners, it'd be very easy for us to hold them accountable and bring down a significant hammer.
Okay. Thank you, that's all I need.
You have that stuff you researched, you'd be able to share.
I'll share. Yeah, that's just the noise ordinance, and we also have a moral unruly behavior preventing houses of prostitution, but it touches on some of the other issues.
I know you probably couldn't check who they were, but are you assuming they're Depew kids?
It was like, I lived on back on east side of Buffalo. I used to work over there on the east side of Buffalo, pretty much my whole life, and that's where it was like I was at. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was, you just want to go out, make sure your doors are locked, you don't want them to see you. You couldn't say a word because you were afraid of what could happen. It was bad.
Actually, I did hear from a neighbor that we are 58. The neighbor on the left-hand side, that night, kids tried to get into her door. They had the wrong house.
They walked right to walk up our driveway too. That night.
I did ring doorbell at other parties where one night girls, I don't know, maybe they were 18, come screaming up my driveway, realizing they had the wrong house. And that was next door. I had it on my ring doorbell.
Anyone else would like to speak on this?
Yeah, just for the village residents here, on the behalf of the police department, I apologize for that behavior. There should have been put a stop to it. I'll look into it and make sure this doesn't happen again.
Anyone else? Sure, come on up.
It's not related to that issue.
That's fine. What do you got?
Hello, Peter Sturchak, Sterchak, and I live at 17 Columbia Avenue.
Thank you.
No problem. So I wanted to come and talk a little bit about the playground. That's the new playground and the new installations that have been going on Columbia. I want to start by saying I think the new playground is awesome. The attendance at that playground has gone up 3 or 4 times what I ever saw with the old playground. So very, very good job. I've had friends and family come by and say that they enjoy the playground. They really are a fan of the rubberized mat that you guys put down. I know we spent a lot of money on that. I've seen little kids go face first onto that thing and bounce right back up like nothing. So it was a good investment. There are a couple of things just in living next to the playground that I wanted to kind of bring up. I gave it a full season. My wife and I, we said, look, we're going to make sure we give this a full season till the end of the fall, so that we can make sure we get a full experience with the new playground and see what kind of concerns we might have were just temporarily volume related because the playground was new and what isn't. So having said that, there was a couple of things that we did want to bring up. For starters, I just wanted to ask when the sidewalk project is planning to be completed.
Well, I think your approach was passionate today and everything. that should all be buttoned up by the end of the week, and
Do you know when I can drive on that again?
the contractor usually says a few days after it's all said and done.
Few days?
What did you get?
It's gonna
Did you
be-
get a,
It's gonna be a few days, and he should be wrapping it up by, I would think by Friday, so I think after Friday. They kinda like to give the sidewalk a little time to
Sure.
set.
So I know
obviously
what-
by the weekend, you'd be good.
Okay.
I know when you did send me your email, I mean, we did have 6 or 7 days of crappy weather.
Sure.
And
Absolutely.
they were also working on another section for us as well.
Roger. Okay.
What are you getting, the asphalt or?
Yeah, that's all
Yeah.
patched in already.
concrete?
Yeah, that was done today.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, I just was wondering when that was going to be finalized, when I could drive on it again.
Yeah, I would say by Friday, you'd be good to go.
Okay, thank you. It was just, it's been 2 weekends since I've been able to park in my driveway, so I have a lot of stuff I want to get done before the snow flies.
Yep.
Get my snow blower in and out, all that. Secondly, I wanted to bring up the fence. So the fence, when we were originally talking about the redesign of the playground, I was under the impression there was going to be the vinyl privacy slats put in the fence. That wasn't in the plan? Okay.
And I did not share that with you.
Okay.
We painted, so we didn't have the expense of putting new poles in.
Roger.
And driving a vehicle back there in order to put the poles in. So we just painted it, DPW painted it, and it was the black coated chain link.
Oh, so when you said black vinyl, you meant the black coating on the chain?
If there was some confusion there, no, we were, as it was, I think that was $6,000 for that.
Sure.
And I had only X amount of dollars to use for that.
Roger.
So there wasn't privacy.
I might recommend then that if the town could look into putting a portage on there. We've had 10 requests over the course of the summer of parents walking up to our house and demanding to use our bathroom. We've also had children walk up to the fence and ask us for water, which was strange to me. I don't know if anyone's teaching their kids stranger danger anymore, but we've had several kids come up and go, hello, can I have some water? No, no, sweetie, no,
I
sorry.
found that, when I read that, I found that unusual.
Yes, so did we.
Knowing that when my kids were young and we took them to a playground, if they had to go to the bathroom or if they didn't, they had to get water or whatever, then we would be back in the car.
Back in the
going
car on
home.
the way home, yeah.
I find that almost presumptuous that anybody and parents would think that that would be normal.
I completely agree.
When you told them about using your bathroom, you told them no.
Yes,
I
correct.
assume.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
was the reaction at that point?
Well, one woman got very upset with us and said, well, there's no bathroom over there. I said, I understand that, ma'am, but I'm not allowing you into my house to use the bathroom. And she changed some words, but ultimately they went away. Most people just say, are you sure, so-and-so's really got to go? I'm sorry, I don't want you to go on my yard, but not letting you into my house either. So, yeah, if that
10
be
instances,
something.
about 10, you say.
Yeah,
Okay,
something.
It's interesting. Yeah.
It was the first one blew our minds. We assumed it was a one-off, and then it just kept happening. It was so strange. So yeah, it was very unusual.
Yeah.
So that was one item. The other one I did want to bring up was the instruments that were installed on the playground. There are 3 instruments in that particular installation. There is a xylophone, there is a set of drums, and there is a bell. The xylophone, I have 0 issue with. The xylophone is very pleasant. Kids can play it all time, day or night. You don't really hear it. The drums are less so, and the bell is very, very unpleasant. So there is a bell installed as part of the train shape and theme of the playground.
Up in the top cab or something?
It's down below, actually. So where toddlers and stuff can get to it, and boy, do they. So they like to get a hold of that thing and just wring the snot out of it. When we moved in next to a playground, I knew there was going to be some noises. There was going to be kids screaming, having a good time, and laughing. The bell's very different. The bell is very jarring.
I'm waiting for it.
Yeah. So this is a quick recording I took. I was inside my garage at 8 a.m. on a Saturday. You might be able to hear it in the background.
Make sure you hold it to the microphone.
No?
No.
Make me a liar?
No.
Come on. Well.
Is the speaker on?
Test. Yeah, it's on.
speaker on the phone, right?
Yeah.
Speaker on the phone.
The speaker on the phone's on.
Well, I'm sure it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, sorry, it's maybe the wrong video, but
But it's down, you don't have to climb the cab?
correct. No, it's right on ground level. Yeah, so they'll get a hold of it and just ring it. Again, I don't necessarily mind, but nobody tends to pay attention to the placarded hours for the playground. So the recording I have was at 8:18 on a Saturday within Norwood's ordinance limits, but we've had folks come through at 6:40 on a Saturday, on the weekends in the summer. There were people there when I left, and it was approaching 7 o'clock at night. It was pitch black, and there were still kids running around on the playground, ring-a-ding-ing the bell. So the xylophone's fine, the drums are fine, but that bell is just, it pierces. I can be in any room in my house, the basement, the garage, I can hear it everywhere. So it's very sudden and jarring, and it's just kind of hard to relax with it now.
Yeah. Last one I'm most interested in.
The last one was, with the old playground, we used to notice that once a month or so, a police cruiser would come by at night and keep an eye on the playground. They'd maybe flash the spotlight in there, kind of just keep an eye on it. I don't feel like that's happening anymore. And there have been many nights where well after 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, there are people on the playground. Sometimes older people, yes. There's sometimes where it's teenagers, but there's definitely been a few times where I heard adults out there, yeah. So, I mean, just sitting, I think maybe laying on the benches, chilling in there. I don't know. They like that big side-to-side swing.
Yeah.
But they were out there listening to music, and I can't really see what's going on. I promised you when we talked that I'd try to keep an eye on the place because it's brand new. I know the old
You
playground.
first have mentioned to me that there were instances like
Yes. Yeah, we had a couple of, vagrants had been taken away out of there doing heroin one night. That was years ago, well, a couple years ago now. And there was a swastika painted on the old playground. So, we're trying to keep an eye on it for you guys and help make sure it stays nice because I like having a nice facility next door. I like that the kids have a place to go. But yeah, it just seems like at night, I don't feel like the attention's being paid to it that it used to.
Well, we did talk about that at pre-board with Chief Miller, so I think we'll see a change in that part.
Okay.
The bell thing, we'll go out and take a look, and if we have to remove the bell, I don't think that's intricate to the whole train theme that's there, so.
I understand. Even if you padded the clanger or something, it just, like I said, the xylophones are fine. All the other instruments are fine. I actually like that they're there as an all-inclusive element for the kids. But yeah, that bell, man, oh. It's just.
I mean, as far as the,
Are the hours posted on it? The hours? Are they posted?
there was a
Is it
sign,
on the-
Chief, but we were gonna upgrade the sign.
Okay.
I don't know that the sign is still up front there.
Yeah, I actually don't know. I know there used to be one. I haven't seen it.
I mean, when we put that new fence up that Ken did, I think the sign is sitting in the rec right now, by the rink, I think I saw it the other day. But it's supposed to be ages 2 to 12.
Yeah.
So I think Chief Miller has going to make an effort to have a patrol go by with the light. Maybe we look at the Porta-Johns. I mean, we've never done that as a village, whether it's the Inez Evane Park or the George Urban, the one off of Warner, the Warner Estates, the one off of here. There's no Johns, but maybe because of the number of people that come there, we could afford to put a John out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting a lot of, like I said, it's getting a ton of volume compared to the old one.
I changed all the pictures and the stuff on Google search, and we've had almost 10,000 people that have responded.
Yeah, a lot of folks, and there people I know who didn't even know we lived next door. They showed up and said, "Yeah, we saw this came up online that this was a new playground, and they want to take their kids to it." So I mean, it's word is getting around. People are really excited about
That
it.
little fellow right there that I interviewed tonight, Gabriel. Stand up, my man. Tell us about that park. We're talking about the West Dawson.
Oh, it's really good. I like how it got me done. It's really nice.
You like the bell? Let's go play it for him.
I met him earlier before tonight.
Gotcha. Well, that's everything I had.
Okay.
All right, thank you
I
very
think
much.
there's a couple things that are pretty simple fixes.
Yeah, like I said, bathrooms, just a
Yeah,
suggestion.
I mean, as far as the people looking for water and stuff, I don't know what to
I
tell
mean,
you.
how much is a business license? I could just start.
Yeah, there you go.
While I'm here,
And we don't have water in that park, even for doing the sod, we put down some sod, but we were taking a chance because there was no water to do it. Appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you very much.
And if you hear voices in the park, call us, okay?
Anything else tonight? All right. Any questions for Elizabeth? No questions for you tonight. All right. And then just keep Bob Brandon, who's normally here for Senator Tim Kennedy. He's still caring for his wife after surgery, so he's not here tonight, but keep her in your prayers. All right, we will do claims and accounts, and then we've got an executive session that we have to get to, so claims and accounts, please.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, the claims and accounts have been audited by the Finance Committee and are approved for payment for the following.
In the general fund, $1,634,344.88. And in the sewer fund, $1,400.40.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And actually, before we go to executive session, our custodian, Kathy Gary, is keeping her in our thoughts and prayers after a recent surgery. And we can do 17, executive session.
All right. Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make a motion to go into executive session at 8:12 PM for potential future litigations.
You have to make it, Steve.
Second motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll be back as soon as we can.
We all close it. We not. I forgot to get out of here early. I just
Okay, there's the thumbs up. All right, we're back from executive session.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make a motion to close tonight's executive session at 8:58 PM. No decisions were made.
I second a motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Carried. And number 18 is adjournment.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption to adjourn the meeting with a remembrance for Kathy Gary, who had a recent surgery, for us to keep in thoughts.
I second a motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And close the meeting is at 8:50.